Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Okay, so we are coming up on Thanksgiving here in the States, and I found an Am I the Asshole for you guys. Thanksgiving themed. Okay.
Okay.
I'm still getting shit for this from my family, so it's possible I may be a bit of the asshole here.
Okay.
I'm 29, female. The players are my mom, stepdad, and 4 step siblings, 35 male, 37 male, 40 female, 42 male, and their families. I'm the black sheep in that I'm the only one not married with kids, but that's my preference. I love living alone. I don't want kids, and having a partner just isn't that important to me.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds like you know
no
yourself.
problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
My family has been asking me when I'm going to get a boyfriend and settle down since I was 19. And the answer has always been, ew, never. I was going to skip Thanksgiving, but my mom insisted that she wanted everyone home this year if possible, so I went. It was under the usual drill, but youngest stepbrother and his wife are having another kid, so that was the big announcement. So she wanted everyone together to announce that they're having another child.
Great.
Cool. Good for you.
This was fine until around, right? Amazing.
Sounds great.
Awesome.
Oh, wow. You're procreating.
Yeah, you guys are
Clap, clap, clap.
just fucking raw. Thanks for sharing. Okay. I always think that whenever people are like, we're trying, I'm like, all right.
Cool.
That's what that means. You're just telling Nana that you are just bang, bang, banging your partner, no condom all the time.
Just
cool.
Raw dogging it. Yep.
It was fine until around the end of dinner when one of the step-sister-in-laws asked me if I'm not anxious to have kids since I'm almost 30 and time is running out.
Almost
Go
30.
fuck yourself. Go fuck all the way off.
Time is running out.
Go down to the end of the street that you were fucking off, make a left, go through the McDonald's drive-thru, and then keep fucking off.
Yeah.
All the way.
All the way off.
So why? It should just be like what are those advice columns, like Ask Ann or whatever those things are. I forget, but it feels like a Miss Manners things where it's like
Ask Abby or whatever.
Ask anybody or about their fucking child. Like, it's so rude to me. You have no idea what people are going through. What if she had been trying and had just had a miscarriage?
Yeah.
You don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You don't know. Keep it to your fucking self.
I want a new column on this called Ask Cassie.
Ask Cassie.
Yeah, so send me your Ask Cassie questions.
That sounds like a good Patreon
I'm into it.
segment.
Oh, I'm so into it. I know we're not an advice podcast, or are we?
We could be. You know what? We've been doing this for a while. I feel like we could.
We're full of it.
Make that pivot. We are full of it. That's our next podcast.
All right, and the title of this is Full of It.
There you go.
You got it.
Great. I laughed and said, "Nah, I'm good." That led to one of the stepbrothers saying that every family member needs an old maid aunt and some other comments I didn't appreciate.
Yeah.
I said, let's move on. But my mom said, we're just worried about you.
Oh,
She's not even fucking 30.
And she has said repeatedly since she was 19 that she is not interested in
Leave it alone.
You don't need to be worried. She's got her shit.
Your best friend
It's fine.
from home.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Same thing. She said forever. And look, some people change their mind. Let them come to you with that information.
That's exactly right.
Don't just assume that they're going to change their mind.
Ugh.
Also, like, what are they trying to do? Make her a child bride? Yeah. Under 30? Good Lord.
Wow. Honestly.
Child bride.
Yeah. Honestly.
That's true. God.
Oh, you're almost 30. Oh.
It's so young.
Jesus.
Her mom says, we're just worried about you. There's nothing to be worried about. She doesn't have kids and she's not married.
Bills?
Like, yeah. Mm-hmm. This is where I'm possibly the asshole. I know all the dirt on my family. So I said, well, I'm the only person at this table that's not an alcoholic, a cheater, or constantly broke as fuck because I have more kids than I can afford. So I'm not the one to worry about.
Girl.
She just dropped.
Drop the mic, grab a turkey leg, and fucking...
Yeah, pass the potatoes.
Yep.
And she's just staring. And then the sunglasses come in
Nah.
and land on her face. Wow.
Oh my God.
And that's how I brought Thanksgiving to a dead halt.
Well.
And no one said a thing for the rest of dinner, but my texts are radioactive still.
Yeah.
I feel like it was probably writing the line. And my mom says this has caused a lot of problems among the siblings, but also they kind of started it.
So, well, wait a second. What's the cause of problem about it ain't true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's worried about who now?
Yeah. So you can talk about my life because I'm not adhering to some weird
Archaic
rule that you've made up about how to go through life, but I can't make comments about your life.
Cool.
Things that I disagree with.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not the asshole.
No,
you're not the
it's,
asshole in this situation.
In all caps, not the asshole.
No. I am curious what the response was.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people responded. Oh, you mean like what the response was on Reddit?
On Reddit.
So also just to clarify, the kids were not in the room when this was said. They were eating Thanksgiving in a different room. So it's not like she roasted their parents in front of them.
Okay.
One user said, not the asshole, hands down the best Thanksgiving showstopper ever. They fucked around and found out.
That's exactly fucking right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And then somebody responded to that and said, absolutely. And I guarantee that nobody is going to be asking her about her choices anymore. They like to dish it out, but they can't take it.
That's exactly
so
right.
it looks like most of the responses are not the asshole.
Good.
Not the
Yeah,
asshole.
of course. Yeah, you said it perfectly. It's just like they're free to make as many comments about her life and her choices as they want, but she's not allowed to turn around and be like, well, I choose not to cheat.
Yeah. No, that lady had it right. They fucked around and they got that found out Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and it is like, what are you worried about? Like, because I listen, I will not name names, but I definitely have family members who I'm just like, just because you did this
names.
the quote unquote right way,
Her
by like
traditional
way, getting married and having kids, you aren't taking care of your kids.
And also, you're not better than me.
No, and like, isn't it more responsible
think
for
it's
me to not have
jealousy.
kids? Like,
I think it's jealousy.
Yeah.
I really do. I
Yeah.
think some people want everyone to be as
Miserable.
miserable as they are, you know? And I'm not saying that if you have kids, you're miserable. Please don't take it
not
that
at all.
way.
That's what we're
Not at
saying.
all.
That is the stance of the podcast.
But I do have
hard line.
hard line.
Please direct your
to ask Cassie.
to Cassie. Yes.
No, I definitely have some people that, you know, have questioned throughout the years, you know, my whole childless thing. And it's from people who I've definitely heard like complain about
their own
having
kids.
children
Yes.
the whole time. And I'm like, so then why do you want to make
No,
me do
sounds,
it?
Sounds delightful. I can't
Yeah.
wait.
All I've done is like grow up listening to you bitch about it.
No,
So
it's
why
true.
would I want to do it?
And the same thing, like I've heard people say the same thing about marriage, where it's like we grew up at a time where every comedian was talking shit about their spouse,
Yes.
particularly men talking shit about their wives.
My wife.
And-
Get a load of my wife. Take my wife. No,
she sucks.
seriously, take my wife.
Yeah. And it's just like, then you wonder why women don't want to get married.
Yeah.
Or we see it on the TV as the like impossibly hot wife with
Yes.
the schlub husband
The king
that
of
can't
queens
fucking
complex.
do shit.
Can't do anything.
I'm like, well, that looks fun.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Everybody Loves Raymond, where it's just like she has to basically take care of another child.
Yeah.
Why? Like I've seen so
But
many
the writer
comments.
of that show, I love him so much.
Oh, look,
the guy.
I'm going to
Love
tell
him.
you, Everybody Loves Raymond is a problematic show that I will put on in the background.
But will I
the
watch
time.
that guy go around the world and eat shit?
Yes. I love Everybody Loves
adorable.
Phil. I
I know.
love Phil.
He's adorable.
Ugh.
Wait, who?
The
Phil
writer.
Rosenthal.
Oh,
Rosenthal. I
the
love
writer.
him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just we grew up with all of this stuff, and then you wonder why. I've seen so many comments on TikTok of women who are like, actually, the amount of labor I'm doing in my house went down after I got divorced.
Oh, 100.
because
Yeah.
I wasn't having to take care of my kids and also take care of my husband.
The mental relief
Sure.
is wonderful.
Sure.
It is actually like you don't realize how much space things hold in your brain.
For sure.
Until they're not there anymore.
Yeah. What you're
like,
reserved
"Whew."
for
Yeah.
that moment. I will tell you because something came up and it made me write it down because when you were telling that story, it reminded me on Daily Zeitgeist, they were talking about how like Gen Z, this new generation of and like younger millennials are like, we're over like the throuple situation or the love triangle. And honestly, I want less movies with romance in them and all. Can we have more stories about like guys and girls who are actually just friends, and it doesn't have to be, but, and they made an important point on the show, which is that I think that porn was much more accessible, is more accessible now.
Yeah.
So we get that kind of weird,
It is jarring to watch. Well, hold on. Before I go into this, let me just say, because I just feel like it needs to be said.
How are we going from Thanksgiving to porn?
I can find a way.
Girl, I can make anything happen.
We find a way. I do want to just say that, like, look, if you are happily married with children, that is fucking wonderful. I'm not making a blanket statement about
I am. 100%.
any of it.
I'm
like,
not either. Yeah.
Cassie's like, I sure am.
Yeah.
Like, do what's right for your life,
Of
and
course.
I hope you find happiness. I hope you find I hope you have that wonderful
whatever happiness looks like to you. Is the point.
Right? Exactly. But I just want to make sure that that's understood. That it's not that I'm coming down hard on like. If you're happy, that we're not talking to you. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also just like, if you're happy, that's awesome. But like, what makes you happy may not make your sister or your friend or whoever
it's none of your
happy.
business. And it's none of your business.
We don't have to just subscribe to the same
Correct.
standard of happiness.
Different strokes for different folks.
Absolutely.
But back to your thing, Cassie.
Okay.
Thank you.
I liked the point that they made, because I listened to that episode as well, where they were talking about how jarring it is to see, like, when you watch an 80s movie now, like, just boobs everywhere, and it's always movies that take place in high school.
With the biggest tits ever just out in like the gym class. So you're like, wait, so they are supposed to be in high school,
like 16 Candles.
You're
like, why are there boobs in this movie? This movie easily could have been made without boobs. It makes no fucking sense.
But it was like there's a lack of access then.
Yes, exactly.
Of porn and all these horny things that you are surrounded by.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I think like the kids these days are
they can
just
access it anytime they want.
Yeah. So they want stories that reflect what's maybe they are lacking, which is in person relationships with a person of another sex that doesn't have to be wrapped up into some type of will they won't they romance. And so they're more
the early 2000s shoehorned in a love triangle to every piece of media. Like there was no reason for that to be in the Hunger Games. Like it's like, why?
No,
why?
Absolutely not. And
Twilight,
it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And she ended up with the wrong guy. Like the whole fucking book, you're reading all these books and she ends up with that guy.
Oh, I wasn't mad with who Katniss ended up with at the end. I was mad that they made her just like a stay-at-home mom at the end.
The thing that she said she didn't want the entire book. Yeah. All the books through, she's just like, I don't want to end up being this, and that's what they.
Yeah, I hear you on that, but I mean, it was just a different. It was a different time. It was a different time.
Yeah, the early aughts.
It really was. It really was. I mean,
well, to bring him back to Thanksgiving, to holidays and everything, because that was quite a journey. I loved seeing that.
I don't know.
Blossom and bloom. So I'm thinking, wild holiday dinners. Have you guys ever been like invited to, or have you invited somebody to a holiday dinner and it just like went south?
I have not invited anyone to a holiday dinner at my house that went south. Thank God. And I don't think I've ever attended one either, although I can say there are cringe moments from my like young adulthood where I went to Texas with an ex and like met his grandparents and we're staying at his grandparents' house, and like it's just everybody staying under one roof. And I remember him being like, it was in the morning and he was like, let's go take a shower. And I was like,
together in Meemaw's house?
I was like, are you sure?
No.
I was like, are you sure? He was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, we'll just go. We did. We showered together. And then I remember getting out of the shower and just being like, that was a mistake. Like that, it feels, it doesn't feel right.
Feels like Nana's not going to like that.
Doesn't feel right. Like, why? Why did we do that? You know what I mean?
Because that is
That's like 19-year-old behavior.
Yeah, that's like very much behavior. I have a funny story.
Okay.
And I think I shared this with you, Keegan, recently. But it has nothing to do with Meet the Parents. It just reminds me of a funny holiday story just in general. So we were over at Chris's family's house, and his grandfather, who's now passed, was there. We were all at his parents' or his dad's place, and he'd gone into the bathroom. He'd gone to the bathroom and went to spray like air freshener everywhere, but it wasn't air freshener. It was
shaving cream. Amazing.
The whole fucking bathroom was just covered in like foam shaving cream.
Why didn't he stop?
He didn't say anything.
No.
So then he just laughed.
That's the funniest thing. He just walked. He's like, well, that's somebody else's problem.
Can you imagine walking in? You're like, who is the maniac here?
Chris's mother, stepmom was the one who got it, and she was like calling all of us over in like intervals.
That is so much more embarrassing.
Look at the fucking
that is so much more embarrassing because then you have to go in there and be like, oh yeah, that's crazy.
Wild.
Who did that? Like,
I mean, she knew it was him because he had just come out and he didn't say anything when he came out.
crazy.
So she knew it was him, but she was like whisper calling us over like, oh my God, check this out. Yeah.
What just happened?
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't have any like wild, like show stopping meet the family ones. Yeah. I'm like, I never really like brought anybody home.
Same.
no, yeah. I'm very careful about like who I'll bring to dinner and stuff like that at my parents' house.
And
I feel like
holidays are just so specific. You know what I mean? Like it's everybody has their own traditions and things, and
I feel like you have to be pretty serious to bring somebody home for a holiday dinner.
Yeah, I didn't even bring Chris home until after we were married.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well,
I can't imagine.
Well, also, yeah, you're right. Like we all have like a very specific way that we like to celebrate.
Yeah.
And everybody's is different. So I think like if you're not serious about the person that you're with, and then you go and you spend a holiday doing stuff that's not your traditions and stuff like that, then I don't know.
It's weird, right? Like the way that people open gifts.
Yeah.
Like, you have to start with your stocking or stockings first in this house. Or like my parents didn't really care unless there was a really expensive special gift, and that had to be last, you know. And you know.
Yeah. I do remember that same trip. That was the first Thanksgiving I'd spent away from my family. I was like 19. And yeah, that was the first Thanksgiving I spent away from my family. And I actually do remember being a little like rocked by it because I was so used to one specific thing. I remember really missing my family that holiday as well.
You miss the traditional foods that you made and everything.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's kind of funny to think about now because obviously like I don't go home for holidays really. And so now I have kind of like my own traditions, and I'm not going to cry about missing my family traditions at this stage, but at that time it was important to me. And it did rock me a little bit that I'm like, oh, they serve completely different food. It's a completely different, like,
oh, I have to know okay. So here's the thing that in my house, my mom, I think she likes to cook, but she's not, bless her heart. Like, I love her so much. But she is it was like the can of cranberry sauce.
Some people love that. That is traditional for some people. Like,
yeah, that was traditional in my house. I'm curious, what are some of the things that were like you always had?
Oh, green bean casserole.
Yeah,
for sure.
We always had, my mom made green beans, but she made like green beans with like butter and garlic, which was always really good. And then she made I never really had it, but she made the cranberry sauce, like fresh cranberry sauce.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
on
that's
the
what Eric
stove
does.
every
We never
year.
had either. I think my
It's
family wasn't a
But
fan of
people are very like team canned
some
or team
people
fresh.
are,
Like I know that every year because we do Thanksgiving together, we do Friendsgiving, and where we go, Joe and Vanessa, who always host, Joe demands that there is canned.
Yeah. And Eric always brings the fresh.
Yeah,
That's so
because that's
funny.
that's his thing.
Are you guys? See, we were always team turkey for Thanksgiving, but for Christmas, ham.
Ham, same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love ham.
Good
for you.
Okay. What? Good for you. That's nice.
Oh, that's nice. Oh,
What about pies for Thanksgiving? Like we were an apple pie Thanksgiving household.
always pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Always pumpkin.
Yeah, always pumpkin.
Yep.
And it's I'm not much on sweets, so for me, I couldn't care less either way. To be honest, I love apple pie though.
I love apple
I do
pie.
I like the Dutch, the
Crumble on top.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds.
I think we just ate Taco Bell.
I know.
What is
What
happening?
a wild ride, you guys. Oh, God.
Seriously.
Now where do we go for
Fuck, marry, kill.
let's go back to
Kill.
porn.
Oh my God.
Whiplash.
Oh, man. Well, we're talking about holidays. We've done so
them all.
many different
The foods.
Santas, the foods, the all of the things. Let's just do hot people.
Okay.
Okay.
People we think are hot.
Okay.
Let's pick people.
shit.
Let's try and pick people we've not done before.
Yeah.
I think that's the challenge.
Okay. How familiar with holiday or with Hallmark movies?
Not familiar
I was
enough
gonna
to
say,
pick.
there's certain actors and actresses that are constants in some of these. You know, oh my gosh, Leanne Rimes' husband. He's like in all
Cyprian,
those. Yeah.
whatever his-
Yeah.
Wasn't he the guy that cheated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
It sounds awful.
Yes.
And then what's the guy from Access Hollywood? He's always on a bunch
Mario
of
Lopez.
I feel like he's on
I
a
know
lot
that
of those.
Lacey
Chabert.
Chabert. Wow.
Yep.
Her.
Sammy from Days of Our Lives.
Don't know
Don't know.
any of this at all.
Okay.
I'm
well,
doing I've got one.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Theo Vaughn, I believe is his name. He's the one that was in White Lotus as the
Wait. I thought
Oh.
Theo Vaughn was the
or
comedian.
No.
With the mullet.
Oh,
No,
it is. Why am I thinking that's his name?
I was like, wow.
I know who you're
This
talking
is-
about though from White Lotus. I do know who you're talking about.
That guy. And I think
Okay.
he came into my head because you said Eddie Cibrian, and they kind of look similar.
He's hotter than Eddie Cibrian to me. in my opinion.
Way hotter. Yes.
Who's the
Theo James.
Theo James.
He was the one
Okay.
that was in Sanditon season 1.
Oh God bless America.
Oh yeah, he's very hot.
Yeah.
Very, very hot. Yes.
Oh,
Amazing.
I know spoiler alerts, but goddamn,
Seriously.
fucking hot.
Heat hot.
Heat hot.
Okay.
Heat.
Let me see.
I know. I'm like, I wasn't prepared at all. Let's see.
No, I'm just kind of looking. You know what? I don't know that we've done him before, and he might not be. He's not as. I don't think he's as hot as Theo James. But
I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, that's a hot take. Okay.
But I think Nicholas Hoult is so
we haven't
cute.
done him.
And I don't think we've ever
I
done
gotta
him.
remember what he looks like. Oh yeah, I feel like we haven't we?
Not that I can
All right.
remember. Maybe we have, but I can't remember. Yeah, I think that he's good looking. I think that he is funny. Like he doesn't take himself too seriously. British.
Yeah. We
I love
it.
that.
Yeah. I think he is too.
I was going to say, I think he might be as well. Let's
Okay.
see.
I
Theo
think I
James.
know who I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
His name's Gabriel Macht, and he's from that show Suits. He was on Suits. Harvey from Suits.
Oh, okay.
So hot.
I never watched. God, we are picking the most
Obscures.
white brunette men.
I know they're all the same. Actually, if they're all the same.
We picked the same guy.
Yeah, we did. Yes, Theo James is English as well. Okay. Wow.
Sorry, I'm still in my mind. Theo.
Oh my god.
Okay, my guy is from Bronx, New York.
Okay, so we
Ooh,
got
okay. All right.
one
His
one
mom
American.
was Suzanne. His mom Suzanne was a museum curator and activist or archivist.
Activist.
As soon
Love
as it
that.
came out of my mouth, I was like, "That's
Love
not it."
Okay. All right. I know what I'm going to do.
I think I know what I'm going to do too.
I'm
I have
gonna
no clue.
I'm gonna marry Nicholas Hoult.
Okay.
I'm going to marry him. Okay. I think that he seems... Actually, hold on. Now I need to know what's his sign.
Oh, yeah. I have this guy's sign. What's your guy? Theo. What's Theo Von's sign?
Nicholas Hoult, December 7th. So he's a Cap. Wait. No. He's a...
December 7th?
Yeah.
He's Sag.
Sag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gabriel is January 22nd, so I think that makes him...
He's on the cusp. He'd be Aquarius.
He's Aquarius. Yeah, an early Aquarius.
And Theo Von. So sorry. It's like, wait, he's got like a mullet. That guy?
That guy? Oh, wow. We all picked around the same. He's also a Sag.
Oh. Wait, when's his birthday?
December 16th.
Oh. He's also kind of on the cusp a little bit.
Wow. That does not make things easier.
No, it doesn't.
I need to see your guy again.
But I still know what I'm going to do. I am going to marry Nicholas Hoult still. I still believe in our romance.
I believe in you.
I believe in us. I think that we can make it. I just think he's so cute. He's always in, because he was in that Catherine the Great show. Yeah. He's got great comedic timing. He was in Renfield. He doesn't take himself too seriously.
That's okay. Yeah. Now it's all clicking together.
I appreciate that about him. I think it would be fun. He picks really fun roles, which I always like. So I think that I'm going to marry him. I'm going to fuck Theo James.
I mean,
I saw him in White Lotus. I saw it.
Listen.
I saw it.
We all saw.
Oh shit, I gotta watch White Lotus.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
He's very hot. Both of the guys on that season of White Lotus are so hot. Like, and them trying to say that like this guy was like infinitely hotter than the other guy. I'm like they were neck and neck. And honestly,
tied.
Two very hot men.
Happy.
Would love to be meat in that sandwich.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Call me baloney.
Yeah, definitely.
I prefer Oscar.
Yeah.
Last name Meyer.
Yep.
And then I never watched Suits, and this guy's good looking, but he's to me
not so hot.
I think so too.
He's good looking.
On the show, he has this air about him, like he might throw you against the wall. Oh, God damn.
I think I know what I'm going to do. So I also, this one's tough. One's tough. I am going to marry Nicholas Hoult as well, and it's for a sense of humor.
Yeah,
it really is.
It seems silly.
I think the other two gentlemen are infinitely more attractive, or I am more attracted to them. Let me base this. All people are attractive, but
yes,
I have more attraction towards these other two, but something about him makes me feel like I would wake up daily and feel bad about
Theo
myself.
James.
Yeah.
Theo James.
Yeah.
Well, you can look, I saw that body, and
it's almost
that,
too good looking,
that
right?
body is in the gym often.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's waking up at 5 a.m. You got a home gym.
Oh,
you have a home gym situation if you are married to Theo James. Yes.
Many supplements.
Clean eating. Ooh. Yes. Yeah.
Sounds awful.
Yeah, I just feel like Nicholas Hoult, especially, seeing him at Renfield and stuff, he does seem like fun.
Yeah.
And then, fuck-wise, that's tough because I do think Gabriel Macht is really hot.
Oh, he's
and
so fucking hot.
I love a suit, but Theo James is tall. He's very tall.
I want to know how tall he is, too.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
So I'm going to fuck Theo James.
It's the height that edged him out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
6 foot.
Oh,
he's just
maybe they're the same. Yeah, I'm still fucking Theo James. I'm looking at him.
I just was curious. I didn't know.
You questioned it for a second, then you saw his picture again. You're like, oh no, I made the right decision.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But then I have to leave immediately after.
Oh yeah.
There's no way that I can have any kind of
your feelings are getting tied up.
Bodily function around him. I would never recover.
No. In fact, I'm gonna leave. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that night. I'm gonna show up
as soon
mysterious.
As soon as I come, even if it's before him. I'm
Bye.
Out.
Yeah.
You Kool-Aid man through the walls.
I think the only way to fuck Theo James is to be a mysterious lady of the evening.
Yep.
show up and leave before he gets to know the real you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you
Just
can't
right
know.
away.
No.
Yeah, I'm not trying. This is a fuck appointment. I am not here to get to know you. You're not here to get to know me.
You won't see me without makeup.
Yes,
You won't smell my
you
fart.
You won't see me without false eyelashes. Okay, like that is where we're at.
Yep. Yep.
Oh man.
All right. What about you, Cass?
Well, I'm gonna fuck Gabriel Macht.
There you go.
I mean, that guy, like, literally, he's a sex dream. Like, truly,
Really?
like, I just think that he is.
That is so funny
Sex
to
on a
me.
stick.
For me, with
He's
him,
so
and
hot.
again, I didn't watch the show, but just looking at him, I'm just like, this is just a white guy.
No, I think it's partially from the show because he does give like this air of like confidence. He's a lawyer. He's like this powerful, New York lawyer, and he does it with a way that's not like, oh, I'm a big powerful New York lawyer. It's like almost this like quiet.
Intensity.
Okay.
Nice.
That you're like,
I like that.
You're gonna fuck my brains out.
Okay, I like that.
You know what I'm saying? I am gonna marry, I think, Nicholas Hoult as well.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense for me. He's the Sag. That makes so much sense to me.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that for me.
Both of the other two are Sages.
Yeah. I feel good about that. God damn. Can I have I'll take a sandwich of tea.
Right.
No, seriously.
I'll be Theo's friend.
Will you?
No.
No, you won't.
No.
None of us are being
No.
Theo James's friend. Okay.
No.
We're just friends.
I can't be friends with this guy. I saw him on White Lotus. Don't trust that man around your wife. Don't do it. I saw what happened
We're
there.
just friends. We're just coworkers.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you?
Me too.
Do you know how like nervous every husband would be if they're like, I'm going to a conference with my coworker Theo James. I'm going with you. I'm packing
going
my
on a conference.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. What?
Oh man.
Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with stories?
Sounds good.
And we're back. All right, Cassie.
It's me.
It's you.
It's me. Mario.
Why?
I don't know why. All right. Hello, please keep this anon, and my pronouns are they, them.
Okay.
All right. In 2007, I was a freshman at OSU in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, howdy, neighbor.
So excited. The way I can't wait. And I apologize to our listeners who aren't from Columbus, Ohio, because this is just going to be full of nostalgia for me and Christina. And literally when I was talking to Chris after I first read this, I was like, oh my God, you remember this place and that place? And oh my God, we used to do this at that place.
That's how I felt when I watched that Dateline.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't watch it. I listened to it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I have to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Very, very much like, oh yeah, very Ohio.
Alum Creek. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I know that. Oh, Cleveland Avenue. Yep. I know there.
Yeah.
Anyway. And just moved into the dorms on campus, shared a cramped room with 4 other people. I swear I still have claustrophobia thinking about those double bunk beds.
Yeah.
4 people is too many. I
a lot.
remember dorms like that because I used to go hang out with my friends in their dorms at
4
MSU in Missouri.
19-year-olds.
Disgusting.
It just smells.
Disgusting. And especially because I hung out in some guys' dorms.
Oof.
And
Just cologne and feet.
and semen and like 19-year-old spunk. Disgusting. Truly though, like because those guys, like they're just trying to get laid. Like they don't care that they're
Disgusting.
sharing a tiny space with a bunch of people. Like
Yeah.
nasty.
Anyway, I have always been a very introverted person, and growing up in an abusive household, I was never able to experience dating in high school. I say this only to express how naive I was at 18, newly on my own, with my own agency for the very first time in my life. Feeling bolstered by my independence, I started looking online for other people to meet. I didn't really get along with my conservative roommates, and having come to the quote big city from a rural area.
Oh, sweetie.
I know.
That's so cute.
She went to town. That's always what we called it when I lived in a small town in Missouri, and we were going to Springfield, which is just a small city.
Going to town.
It's like going to town, going into town.
Yeah.
Yep.
Columbus is a pretty big city, though. Like, it's a decent sized city, especially if you grew up in a rural area.
Yeah, for
It's
the
like
Midwest.
the 13th largest city in the country. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
let's not.
we're not used to
back it down too far.
Exactly. Like now, like LA is like the biggest city of all time. It just sprawls out for ages.
Forever.
It's too big, to be honest.
Yeah.
We have to have a conversation about the size of the city. I need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
To LA directly.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dear
dear LA.
Would you
You're
consider
just a little
out of control?
Yeah. Rein it in a little bit. I wanted to meet some people, open-minded people like myself. What better way to do this than on Craigslist?
Oh,
that was a time and place when you used to actually try and meet people on Craigslist.
Yeah.
We were so naive.
Yeah.
What a beautiful time.
lucky.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I posted in the personals section and began to carefully sift through the awful shit that started inundating my poor inbox.
Yeah, and that was before we really knew about like giving personal information and stuff, just like giving phone numbers and things on Craigslist.
Honestly, my first laptop between LimeWire and fucking all this other
Smoking
stuff.
now. It's just a... that thing's in an old age home.
Honestly, is terrible.
After LimeWire, woof. This is just going to be, like I said, all nostalgia. After a couple of months, I had a response from a man that seemed normal enough. His email to me introduced himself sounding very mature and sane. He lived in his own house, shared custody of 3 kids, worked full time, and was 31. Remember, I'm 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too young.
That I veto.
Yeah.
I say no.
18
You're not allowed.
years
3
old.
kids.
No, thank you.
3 kids would be very questionable at my big age
Oh, yeah.
of 33.
Yeah.
Like 18, that's
Woof.
a lot of responsibility.
They
Yeah.
say now I am 34, and the thought of looking at an 18-year-old and seeing them as a romantic partner is so weird.
Oh, no.
Truly.
So how old was this man?
He's
31.
There's 31. Okay, I missed
31.
that. That's no.
31 years old with 3 children.
No.
13 years. Yeah. No.
And a very disproportionate amount of 13 years.
Correct.
So I
It's
mean, like,
very different
yeah.
if you're talking like 60 and 47.
Right, or
Exactly.
even if you're talking 30 and 43.
truly.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's just like if
31 and 18 though.
No,
That ain't it.
that ain't it.
That is
love
not. Oof. Keegan, you're the closest to 31 in the room.
Absolutely fucking
Could you
not.
fucking
Absolutely
ever?
0% chance. Have you spoken to an 18-year-old
No.
recently?
No.
No.
They're-
There's no reason to.
They're children.
I have absolutely no reason
They're
to talk
children.
to an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even begin to understand why these people do this. I'm sure most people assigned female at birth can relate.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we chat for a few days and then exchange numbers. And I move from emailing this guy to bruising my fingers, pounding out flirty I almost said filthy, flirty paragraphs on the brick of a flip phone.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
you really did. You had calluses on your thumbs from typing on your razor.
Oh man.
Yeah.
He is very pushy about meeting in person. And it did set off some red flags for me. But at 18 years old, my 18-year-old brain easily made excuses that this older, more sophisticated guy is just super into me.
Is he more sophisticated?
Chris
Is he?
Henson begs to differ.
Yes. Take a seat.
After 2 weeks, I give in and agree to meet him. We were both into the same music and decided our first date was going to be at a concert at the Newport right off campus.
Oh my God. The Newport.
Yeah, sorry.
You're
Again,
good.
just a pause for memories. So that I could take a bus there. Red flag number 2, he seemed very excited to see this band and to hang out with me, and keeps going on and on about how he can't wait until we're alone together afterwards. I'm like, okay, I might need to call in some backup here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good
Yes.
for you.
Bring a friend.
Yes. Only one person from my high school went to OSU, and we had a pretty cordial relationship. He also happened to be a very muscular and 6'2".
Yes.
Never mind that I had a crush on this friend all through high school because he was just such a nice guy. I invited this friend to go with me to this concert, knowing that he'd be nice enough to provide a buffer if things got weirder, and he would also enjoy the band that we were going to see.
So, 2 age-appropriate people, one of which you had a crush on in high school, going on a date with a 31-year-old.
Yeah.
Chill.
Dude.
Cool.
Me and my friend show up a bit early and start queuing outside the venue in the freezing February Ohio weather. I feel
that.
I know this.
Yes.
I know this venue. I know this stand in
I've
line.
never been to Columbus, but I feel that like late aughts, dressed in way too little and
100%.
way too cold.
Yep.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
The way that I was like, I can do it.
I'm fine. Just muscled through being in the smallest mini skirt you've ever fucking seen, in the highest heels, walking on ice.
Open toe.
Ice.
On
and
ice.
It was, that time period was like platforms. Like, remember those platform heels? Oh my God. Like
I feel myself falling right now.
Business casual in platform heels and a mini skirt. Because we were all wearing like, it's like a pinstriped vest.
Yep. Short skirt and a long jacket.
What a time to be alive.
My friend is next to me asking all kinds of questions about this date. Like, quote, this guy is how old?
Exactly.
And he has how many kids? He's getting more and more agitated by my casual answers. And by the time my date rolls up and introduces himself, my friend is glaring a hole through him.
God bless this friend. This friend knows what's up.
Yeah. But my friend doesn't say much. I ignore it all to make small talk with my date. The guy looks bad, like minimal effort bad. No shower, greasy long hair, bad breath. He's 5'7", very thin, wearing a long trench coat.
No.
Look, there are a basket of red flags here.
Yeah.
Like so many.
There's a trench coat full of red flags.
A trench coat. He's going to open his trench coat and it's nothing but red flags. No, but I'm out at bad breath.
Yeah.
Like
no, I don't.
The bad breath
I hate
thing, I cannot.
No.
Just grab a stick of gum on your way in.
Yeah.
Honestly, if not for the hygiene issues, I'd be into him. But man, did he smell. We enter the venue and first of all, the Newport is like a standing room only concrete floor venue. It's shit.
Yeah, it's a pit.
It's a pit. Like you're going to mosh. You're going to do whatever. You do not want to be standing neck to neck with fucking bad breath hygiene
BO.
boy.
No.
We enter the venue and shuffle to the front, and the smell from this guy is even worse. The only way I could describe it is BO with stale Chinese food.
Oh. That is
very specific.
That's specific, and it paints a picture.
It doesn't take long before this guy is standing way too close to me, shoving my friend behind us. And then he starts touching me. He's standing at my shoulder, pressed close, caressing my hair and my scalp and my shoulders. And my back.
I don't know why I'm grabbing my boobs. I'm so like, protecting myself.
The hair and scalp. Get your fucking hands out of my hair.
Oh God, no.
Oh my God.
Oh, touching my scalp. I don't know
greasy
why. I just,
little fingers.
Skin
get away
flex.
from me.
Oh,
I just met this guy. This can't be normal. After a few minutes of this, I turn my head to look behind us at my friend, and he sees the look in my face. I can just see
he's pissed.
the big eyes.
Yeah.
Big eyes like, hi, help. I can only assume my expression shows my deep disgust and horror. I was feeling because my friend's face went from mildly amused as he was watching us to murderous. My friend straightened up and started looming over this guy, cleared his throat, scowling down at my date. When he turned to look, my date froze, looking wide-eyed, and then scoffed, whatever, I'm going to get a beer.
Okay, bye.
Seeing my out, I grabbed my friend and asked him to get me out of there before the guy came back. We pushed through the crowd, and right as I passed the bar, I made eye contact with my date very quickly before running out the front door. We spilled out the sidewalk, and the adrenaline had me laughing as we power walked back to campus. My friend and I ended up going to a late night donuts and coffee. He gently ribbed me, saying he couldn't believe that guy was petting me like I was some animal.
Ew.
For the next year, every time me and this friend would hang out, he would always say, hey, remember that guy who pet you like you're a cat? Like, yeah, my dude. I'll never forget that shit.
Yes. Yeah. Of course I remember.
On a side note, this wasn't the first time a guy felt me up at a concert.
No.
When I was 16, some guy came up behind me in a pit. Dude, this is...
Has this ever happened? This has happened, surely.
Oh, yeah. It's happened in a club. It's happened in a concert.
When I was at the Abbey one time, it was when I had just moved to LA, so I was probably freshly 21, if I was even 21 yet. And I was at the Abbey, and some guy much older than me was like dancing, and I didn't know what to do either. And like he was dancing behind me. He literally started like put his hands between my legs.
Dude.
No.
Yes. Like started to,
no.
A lot of rubbing situation. And I froze. Like, what do you do like in a situation?
She froze too. It's the same thing she said. She's like, I just froze.
I froze.
I'm sorry. They froze too. That's exactly what they said in the thing.
Yeah. Froze and then just kind of barrel rolled into the crowd and tried to just like get away. But it's just like people, people are so presumptive and like it's gross.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Man, clubs are notorious spots to get. And concerts. It's just awful. Like, get a grip, people. Anyway, he called us bitches and crowd surfed to the front. I'd like to think that if this happened now, I'd start swinging.
Yeah.
I would also like to think that too.
I would too. I would love to think that nowadays I would a quick elbow to the gut.
Slap across the face.
I love a big dramatic
slap.
Big dramatic slaps. Yep. We love them.
Okay. I will go next. I matched with a girl on Tinder and we decided on drinks downtown and a walk around a popular park to chat. Last minute, she messaged me to meet her at her place instead of the restaurant that was like 3 minutes away from my subway stop. Fine, I have to get off the subway and walk 20 minutes in the opposite direction of the restaurant, but whatever. I show up at her place and she invites me in as she needs to finish getting ready. I sit on the edge of her bed as she gets ready and all I can hear is people having sex through the walls.
Ugh. That's the worst.
She tells me it's her roommate and her new boyfriend, like it's totally casual. Yeah, they're just banging. She then asked me if I wanted to compete with them to make her roommate jealous.
We
just met.
I got off the subway, man.
Yeah, like, come on. I don't even know you like that.
Right?
I said no politely and said I was starving and wanted to go eat. I didn't tell her I wasn't expecting any action and didn't have protection. We walk to the restaurant and she proceeds to talk about all her exes and how they ruined their relationships. Whatever, I can deal with it. Who hasn't complained about an ex, right? So dinner actually went pretty well, mostly because I had a few drinks to relax and it was a chill restaurant. After dinner, she said she's tired and asked if I could walk her home. No problem. I already had a feeling this wasn't going anywhere, so I was excited to leave early. We get back to her place and the roommate is in the kitchen getting drinks and she straight up calls her a whore and tells her to stop fucking her ex. So loudly in the next room while she's on a date. So that's what they heard. It was the roommate and her ex-boyfriend were fucking when they knew that she had a date coming over.
Damn.
Super
God.
loudly. Woof. That's right. The roommate's boyfriend she was loudly fucking earlier was the ex of the girl I was on the date with. The roommate then made a comment about how I'm next and they started a screaming match.
Oh shit!
Oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck this date too. How about that? How about that?
I'll tell you what. When a two like roommate situation goes wrong, it goes off the rails fast.
Yeah. I told her I was going for a smoke so they could hash it out. And the second the door closed behind me, I basically jogged like 3 blocks towards the subway to get the fuck out of there.
My name's Bennett. I ain't in it.
She gone. I texted her when I got home and said I had fun getting to know her, but was not interested as we didn't have much in common. No response. A week later, she sent me a nude and asked me to come over.
My.
Who, the date or the roommate?
Date.
The roommate.
The roommate. Found him. Found his number. Yep. I never thought I'd hear from her again, so I blocked her and that was it. Worst part is the restaurant was a sick Mexican place that she had frequented, so I never went back out of fear of running into her again.
Oh, no.
I love that that's the worst part.
Yeah.
He's like,
not any of the other stuff. He's like, man, they had good carnitas.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, hate that. Okie dokie. Trigger warning for bodily functions.
Oh,
here we go.
Okay.
We're going to start off strong.
All right, great.
We went to the movies and she shit herself.
Oh,
right in.
Come right out with it
immediately.
Love that.
Yep. Here we go. During the movie, it was some superhero thing. There was this faint but very distinct smell of poop coming from her. So I thought she had farted.
There's a difference.
Which was no big deal. But then when the movie ended and she got up, the smell started to follow her.
No.
And was slightly stronger.
Hold on. Pause. Time out. If you shit yourself, you don't finish the movie.
No, you don't.
Like
you excuse yourself to leave and never go back.
You got to get up and go to the bathroom.
That's science.
And clean your shit up.
Clean
literally.
It up. Yep.
Literally.
Yeah, no, here we go. I was in disbelief, trying to rationalize it in my head as maybe she just has gas from the snacks or something. Stop overthinking this and being an asshole. Because she was very nice. I didn't want to ruin things. And then we get to my car.
Okay.
The windows were up.
Girl.
Honey.
So I get her door to
Did
help
she
her
not
in.
know she shit herself? Did she not
smell
feel
this?
Yeah, seriously, I feel like I would know. I would know if I
You
shit
would
myself.
know. You would know.
I would know.
If I thought, oh, I got to let out a sneaky fart. A little sneaky fart. I don't want to miss any of the movie. If it was more than air,
and it was a sneaky snake.
I would feel it. You would feel it.
Would.
Right?
Of course you would.
Anyways. So
that's ridiculous. We're even having this. Of course you
You're gonna
would.
know.
No. If there was shit in your pants.
I feel like, did she step on dog shit or something?
Maybe not a lot of poop, though. Do you think you'd feel a little nug?
Yes.
Yeah. You're going to feel a nug. You're going to feel it all.
Christina.
I have never.
I feel like you, I've never either, I feel like I would know.
I feel like I would
trying to come up with things to help her or something.
I can't
She
smell
stepped
it?
in dog poop?
Yeah,
that was me.
But also you would smell
You
it,
would smell
right?
it.
Yeah, because it's not like they
Unless you got a bad
started
sniffer?
the date and they always like
It came into
smelled
it
like
didn't come
poop.
into the theater with her.
Correct. Exactly. It happened in the theater. So it's not something that she would have been nose blind to. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So I get her door to help her in, being all gentlemanly and shit, close the door and walk around to the driver's side. Maybe because we were outside, the smell had dissipated. So I was like,
no.
So it was just gas. But when I opened my door and sit,
Nope.
the smell of feces had completely engulfed the car.
No.
My car smelled of actual, real, non-imagined excrement. And that excrement was resting comfortably atop my leather seats. At this point, I almost wanted to ask her say something, but that she didn't volunteer anything or even mention having some kind of oopsie was what was making me more distraught than the smell of shit.
It really would. It would make you feel crazy because you're like,
It's fucking wet guy.
Is it in my head?
going
Like,
on?
why isn't
Why aren't
she
you saying anything or reacting? She's just like,
Or-
oh, how was the movie?
Or
You're
after
like,
the date, why wasn't she like, I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick?
Nope.
Or after the movie, I mean. Like, what?
Did he shit himself? Maybe it's him.
Questioning everything.
I know. Seriously. Is this an alternate universe? Was it Shaq in Shazam or Sinbad in Kazam? Let us
right.
know. If she had at least said, hey, so I sharted or something and there's like a turd in my pants, I think.
If she had at least said, I like that he states it like that. Like, it's just, if she had just casually mentioned sharding,
It would have been fine.
Everything would have been fine.
Things would have been chill.
I'd have been like, why didn't you use the bathroom when we were inside? You'd have gone in there.
Something, anything. I would have been able to be like, okay, well, let's get you to the bathroom. No big deal. Accidents happen and we're all human. But she didn't even give me anything to work with. I lower all four
she's
windows.
completely in denial. I love that for her. She's just delusional.
Nothing happened. Nothing to see here, guys.
I love that. She's just
Nothing.
like, you know what? If I don't say anything, it's not happening.
It
didn't exist.
This is not happening. This is not happening at all. We make small talk and I drive her home. We texted a couple times after, but I never asked her out again on a date.
Oh, no?
Though she said she had a good time and wanted to hang out some. And boy, did I wash and sanitize that seat. Wherever you are, please let people know if and when you shit yourself.
Okay. Thanks, advice guy.
Pretending, convincingly even, that you didn't just makes you look weird.
And it makes you feel
Or are
crazy.
you weird? Did you... Or maybe you're smelling stuff. Maybe you have poop in your nose.
Well, he did clear some stuff up in the edit.
Oh, no.
Is something I probably should have started this post with to clear up why it is I just wrote this person off as shitting themselves as opposed to stepping in poop or not wiping their butt after using the bathroom or any of the other very good things lots of replies have raised as plausible explanations. Number one, she did not smell like this at the beginning of the date. Mm-hmm. 2, the date was not that long. We didn't walk through a park or any public space where it would have been possible one of us would have stepped in shit.
Right. He started smelling it when they were in the theater.
Yes.
So
yes. Mm-hmm. Usually there's not poop on the floor of the theater.
I would hope not.
Sometimes.
Depends
on the theater.
I'm sure it's happened. I am certain it's happened.
Oh, I'm sure.
3, I do remember her having a small yappy dog, but again, if she stepped in dog shit before she got in the car and before the movie, I would have started with that.
Yeah, maybe.
4, she did not go to the bathroom at any point after we left to the theater. I think I went to the bathroom after the movie to pee because I had a large drink, but I wasn't gone for more than a few minutes. Certainly not long enough for her to poop and not wipe or stomp on someone else's poop. So she never went to the bathroom. The mats in the car were shit free. Mm-hmm. And I have owned pets. Cat poop and dog poop smell very different from people poop. So God is my witness. I am pretty sure what I smelled was her poop.
Wow.
So, there you go. It's the mystery.
It's a mystery.
That's his wet guy.
That's what I said.
Yeah, it is. It is.
His wet guy. He'll never know.
He'll never know. You gotta just ask. You don't want to carry around that mystery. Be bold.
That's the lesson.
I don't know that I could. I don't know. How do you say that? How do you just say?
Did you shit yourself?
Exactly how Cassie did.
I couldn't do that.
What the fuck is that? Did you shit yourself?
No, I could never.
That's what getting raised around 5 brothers will do.
Honestly,
I
there's
have 3 brothers and no sisters, and I couldn't.
You bury it in.
Yes,
and then
I bury it deep down.
Deep down, never bring it up again.
Hold their hands and be like,
sweetie,
whisper,
it's okay.
Did you have an accident?
No, that's worse. That's worse.
I might do that.
That's worse.
Yeah, sweetie,
oh my God, I would
honey.
die if somebody did that to me. Much rather you come out with.
Did you do a poo-poo in your pants?
No. Oh, no. No.
It's okay if you did.
No,
it's okay.
No. No.
We can get you. I'm
going to go run to the bathroom. And then you hear the alarm of the whole building going off because I went out the emergency exit. Get me the fuck out of here. I hate it. Oh, no.
Oh, my God. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Dude, I love that if you did have an accident and you sharted, there's a number of things that you can do to rectify the situation.
Go to the bathroom, wipe your ass.
Number one being
and her thing was like, I'll just pretend like it's not happening. That's
also,
nothing.
If you
here.
need to fart
Bold.
like that, where something might come out, excuse yourself pre-fart.
Yeah.
That's not one you want to take a gamble on.
No.
You know, like that's not one that you think is going to be.
You know. I knew earlier today. I was like, I got a stinky fart in here, and I walked away,
and then Keegan walked right into it.
No, I didn't know you were walking up behind.
Why wouldn't you warn me? Why wouldn't you warn me?
And, okay. I guess that did happen because then I just pretended like nothing happened.
You sure did.
So believable.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
We gotta take a break.
And take 5 and we'll come back with the Tainted Love.
And we're back. And I have the Tainted Love for today. This story I watched on an episode called Shattered Hearts. Never heard of this show before. But I was like,
Is it on ID or whatever?
Probably.
There's
but I found it on Max.
True crime shows.
Oh yeah. If it was Max, it was probably ID.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I never heard of it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is interesting. Now, what I'll tell you is I also watched another show, which was like another one of those like true crime things, like unbelievable people or whatever. I don't know. Like, it was just, I don't remember. But it is in the show notes. So I did watch that too. What I will tell you, and the reason I'm sharing these 2 specific things with you is because I also have another bunch of notes, but you said this in the last episode. Sometimes when you have so many sources, it feels like some things cross over, and then you're like, wait, what? I thought this dude's name was blah blah blah, or I thought this person was so.
Yeah, a lot of times on those shows,
they change the names.
They change the names.
Yes.
Yeah.
the thing is that these two shows changed these people's names to two different names. So one show says their name is something. What I'm going to do, and just to keep it flowing, is I'm going to use the names from the first show, from the Shattered Hearts.
Okay.
So that just to keep us knowing, but if you watch another show or if you hear other things, they might have different names.
Yep.
So
Got it.
Yeah. Protect people's privacy.
exactly. So Samantha Lezark from Wichita Falls, Texas. She's 28 years old. Her and her husband, lovely house. She's such a sweet girl. It's the typical, everybody's like, she was so sweet.
She lit up every room
Yeah.
she walked into.
She was literally the apple of her mother's eye. She was like, her mom and her had a great relationship, really good, like best friends, like literally just like best friends. They talked to each other 2 to 3 times a day. Every day she would call. Every day they had conversations. It was like they had a really deep connection as mother and daughter. She also had a lot of friends. She worked at a local grocery store where she was like, even, everybody would say she's like the favorite cashier. Like everybody wanted to get in her lane, So she just had a really great personality. Unfortunately, though, her marriage was falling apart. And it all started when one of her really good friends had reached out to her and was like, hey, I'm divorcing my husband. Like shit is just really, it's bad right now. Like it's not good. And she's like, you're going to come live with us. So Samantha was like, come live with John and I in our house. Let's give you some peace.
Row.
Yeah. I didn't initially rut-row because to be honest with you, I'm that person too. I'm like, come live with us, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
And also I trust my friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
We talked about friendcest.
Exactly. We were just talking about people in their early 20s. And it's one thing to stay for a few days or even like a week or two to help somebody get on their feet. It's another thing to like be a whole ass roommate,
Oh, truly. So that did not go well.
Yeah.
Her friends aren't good friends like my friends are.
Yeah.
Her friend.
Yeah, it's exactly like what Christina was saying. Like
few days.
it's different to say, or even like, it's a transitional thing while you're looking for something
Yes.
else. You just need to get out of a bad situation
Yeah.
quickly. Like you do that for your friends. Like that's not a big deal. But if it's just like open-ended,
Yeah.
move in
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of situation, that's different.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely different. And she had her suspicions. Like she'd come home from work and he'd have his arm kind of around her
What?
or hand touching her knee.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's not suspicions.
Yeah.
You're
a-
seeing
That's
it.
inappropriate. I don't care if there's anything legitimate, like if there's sex happening. I don't care about that. It's inappropriate for you to be touching
Someone's like
that.
thigh.
That's not friend behavior. That is not friend behavior.
It's not.
Any of
Our friend group
I would
who
never
had their hand on your
my thigh.
I would never casually rest my hand
I'm
on
going to tell you, we have one of our guy friends in the group has messaged me without either of our significant persons in the group and not asking for like a haircut or anything because Tony will do that. But it was just like hey, how are you? And I'm like, Chris, why did this person text me, hey, how are you? This is so weird.
Yeah, no, same thing has happened for me. And even though I'm sure that there's nothing going on there, it is a kind of a, because that's not the nature of our relationship.
No.
It's intimate.
Yeah.
It's weird, right? It is weird because I was like, Chris, why? And Chris is like, it's not a big deal. And I'm like, isn't it? Feels weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but a hand on a thigh, there's no way around that. Because I hug all my friends. I hug all of my guy friends. Like, I feel like that's inappropriate in greeting or in goodbye or even just saying like, oh, I hope you're doing well, whatever.
Yeah.
Like all of that feels appropriate to me and fine.
Yes.
There is no circumstance I can think of in which
home,
I would put my hand on any of your significant other's thighs and rest it there.
Or if they had him on like yours, I'd be like,
That's
I
weird.
don't love that.
I don't like it.
It's weird.
I don't like
I'm
it.
100% with you. Yeah.
I walked into my house. Okay. Anyway, so she did. She caught them in a hand on thigh and arm around the.
Suspicious.
Yeah, it's beyond suspicious for me. But eventually, she does like kind of confront John and was like, "Hey, I don't like this. I don't like what's going on here.
Yeah.
And so what is going on here?" And finally, he does confess that he's having a relationship or he's cheating on her, having an affair with her best friend.
Well, you weren't really trying to cover it up if I walked in the room and you kept your hand on her thigh.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was more of a like, oh, gotcha, like a pull away.
God.
I hate that.
Even worse.
Yeah.
And
imagine
you're
being sloppy.
You're like the disrespect, the
in my
lack
house?
of loyalty.
Oh,
Somebody took you
friend?
in, and they took your friend, took you in.
That TikTok would go viral.
Can you fucking imagine?
For sure.
Yeah.
No.
It would be
Awful.
Wow.
Fucking
I can't
awful.
imagine, unfortunately.
Oh.
Hate that for you.
And
That
it sucks.
It does suck.
It's a double. It's not
yeah.
a double betrayal. It squares it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
'Cause it's not.
I do because I'm taking math right now, so I
Yeah.
do understand that.
Yeah. So there you go. It's betrayal squared.
It is. It really is because it really
It's so much worse.
is.
Yeah.
A best friend. It's garbage. Anyway, so this is all going on. Her and her soon-to-be ex, he has left the house. He's not living with her anymore. He moves in with his new girlfriend, her fucking best friend. It's cool.
Okay, you can find an apartment now, but you couldn't when I took you in? Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
That's convenient.
great.
Anyway, they move in together. Samantha still carries insurance on John, but they are getting divorced. It's not necessarily amicable, and the thing of it is that
No,
it's. But
I bet it's not.
No, I bet it's not. But the fucked up part, like her mom is like, it's one thing that they're getting divorced. It's another thing that he cheated on her in the way he did. But then he turned her into the mistress in the situation because now he's coming back and fucking her. So now he's living. Yeah. It's all big mess.
No. Boundaries. Fucking boundaries.
Yeah. John's a mess.
John. Ew.
Yeah. We don't like that.
So anyway, it's January 2003, January 5th. Samantha is supposed to be at work, doesn't show up. So one of her coworkers is like, well, that's fucking not right. So she decides to go over to Samantha's house and figure out what's going on. So she gets into the house and she finds Samantha dead on her bedroom floor. So immediately she's like, calls 911. She's in a full-blown panic. Police show up. The guy that shows up initially, he's a rookie cop. His first fucking crime scene ever.
Oh.
He's never seen, like, this is probably the first time he's probably seen a real dead body for all we know. And this is the first person on the scene. Oh. This poor guy. I mean, you want to talk about something that lives with somebody. I said I watched 2 shows. I will tell you this. Everybody that was interviewed in the first show was interviewed in the second show too. So it was wild to see like how everybody kind of came back together who was like, and you could tell there was a lot of years difference between the first and the second show. And I'm like, that says a lot about these people who want to just keep this story alive and have people know about what happened to Samantha. Samantha is found in a prone position. She's on the floor. Her head is in a pool of blood and she has a cord wrapped around her neck 3 times, very tightly and tied in a very, very specific knot called a square knot, which immediately the detective who was right behind the rookie cop showed up right behind him and was able to kind of like, suss through some of the details and was like, that's very suspicious. On the floor, they found a fire hydrant. Not a hydrant, I'm sorry, a extinguisher. Yeah. A smaller kind of fire extinguisher that you would have in your house, right? And it had blood, fingerprints, hair on it. So it's clear that whoever attacked her from behind, hit her likely in the head with this before then strangling her to death. So again, everybody's like, who would want to do this? Like, everybody loves Samantha. The only person everybody kind of immediately went to was her ex because they had some back and forth. There had been this like relationship that had gone completely sour.
Right.
So there's a lot,
Yeah, I'm looking at her ex and I'm looking at that friend.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Immediately. So police were immediately like, hi. Also, too, her really good friend Lisa was like, yeah, not only that, but she also was threatening to take him off of her insurance, which would have been really shit for him because they'd been together since high school, by the way. So the two of them had been together for a really long time. When he was 18, a car fell on him and his back got very injured. Like he was working underneath it. And
oh gosh.
So his back was injured. So he's had multiple, health concerns. So for her to drop him from his insurance or him from her insurance would have been devastating to him.
But he should have been thinking about that before he fucked her best friend. And also, like, why wouldn't she take him off?
Exactly.
Like,
well, they're not divorced yet, I think is the thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's just until the divorce.
But you should be expecting that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Plan
it's
ahead.
coming.
Yeah.
Also, too, though, that also would immediately was like, well, if that's the case, I wouldn't want to kill that person. Because now I'm definitely not on the insurance.
Yeah.
You
Good
know?
point. Yeah.
So the
Because
police
you two
also,
were sleeping together, so maybe there was a possibility for reconciliation. Why would you kill the person who's...
I don't think that there was a possibility of reconciliation. I think that was off the table, but there had been the back and forth. And finally, Samantha was like, at one point, was just like, we got to end this.
Okay.
I won't take you off the insurance. It's fine, whatever. He says that's the last conversation he had. He said the other thing that he said to her, or she said to him, was that I'm seeing other people now. So he didn't really take it as whatever. He was just like, okay, fine. You know, he more or less, it sounded like he kind of more or less took it like, you know, yeah, you know, maybe she is, or maybe she's just saying this because she wants to make me jealous. Who knows?
Okay.
I don't know. But she truly was seeing other people. And the mom said that when she spoke to her the night before, on January 4th, the evening before, she was like, yeah, she told me she'd been seeing this guy. And actually the last thing she told me was that, you know, we couldn't, you know, do a phone conversation, like a camera conversation or whatever, because she had to go. She had somebody over.
Okay.
Her friend Chris had come over and he was staying the night with her. So everybody's like, who the fuck's Chris? Police are like, who is this Chris guy? Like, how do we find out? And so her other friend was like, well, she'd started seeing people online. She'd started dating online and seeing, you know, meeting new people.
And this is like 2003?
2003.
Okay.
So we're talking like
Early
Yahoo Messenger people.
Early online date.
Yeah. Very early online dating. Her online dating profile name was Meow Mix 28.
What a time.
I know.
Whenever we were like, what was wrong with just giving your name?
Well, because you didn't want to. I didn't want people to have my name. I mean,
What was your aim?
Oh, I remember.
Oh
it was
God!
like Sweet Angel.
But yeah, my first email address was sweetangel101.
Oh man!
And it wasn't even like at Hotmail or at AOL or something, because it was at cheerful.com, because you got to pick like whatever you wanted your like thingy to be.
Keegan, that's adorable.
Girl, I was like 12,
Cheerful.
and I was like, because that was that time whenever I think I had a tank top also that said like 100% angel on it.
Of
you know,
course
like
you did.
everything was like, it's so embarrassing, but it is so time and place.
It's of its time.
Yes.
It is such a
Time and
specific
place.
area.
Yeah.
Or era. So she's Meow Mix 28 on the Yahoo chat rooms.
Oh, in the chat. Okay.
Yes.
I thought you were talking about like she had a dating profile where that was her name. And I was like, what?
Oh, no. In the chat room.
In the chat room. Okay.
Yeah.
That I understand. Yeah. Mhm.
So, Meow Mix 28. I don't know why, but that was the other thing too that everybody talked about, is how much she loved her fucking cats. Like she just loved her babies. They
love
called them
her.
her babies.
Okay.
So anyway, she seemed to be getting actually some solace from these online chat rooms. And, you know, from her broken marriage with Chris, she's able to kind of like talk to people, and it's a bit anonymous, and she's able to like have, you know, some of these, you know, risque conversations
That
if
was
she
a
wants
fun
to, you know,
time too. Whenever it did feel more anonymous like that, before we truly understood how
before
the
he
internet
really
worked.
fucked it up.
Yeah. And we could just be like, oh, we're connecting with people all over the world. And you felt like you didn't have to give more information than you wanted to. And you didn't use your real name on these kind of chat
Meow Mix 28.
rooms. Yeah.
So the police take her computer and they're like, obviously she has spent a lot of time on here. So the police are digging through. I mean, they're doing everything. They got all the DNA, they got all that stuff, but they're digging through her computer at this point because they want to know who she's been talking to and can they find this Chris person in any of these chats. One chat pops out to the police right away, and it's between her and somebody called CP238, and it's not Cassie Paxton.
Okay.
Or Chris Paxton.
Great. I was
Just so
gonna
you know.
I was gonna think Chris
you
Paxton.
thought so.
Yeah.
I know.
I did.
Well, I wanted to make sure you.
I was like, where was he?
I think we were married by then, so hopefully it wasn't him.
Yeah.
He was very pushy, asking, you know, do you live alone? Where do you live? She says at one point to him, she's like, he's asking her to do all kinds of stuff. Like, what's your kink? What are you into? He asks her, where do you live? All that stuff. And she goes, I don't know you. You could be a serial killer.
Yeah.
Right. And so the police are like,
they're just going to make note of that.
Yeah. Are you a serial killer?
Yeah.
That is incredibly weird and pushy. Like to ask, if somebody asks me, do you live alone? And then follow that up with, where do you live?
Alone is enough for me to be no, thank you. No. But it wasn't for her. Their chats start to turn toward the sexual, and he asks her kinks and if she's into BDSM. Eventually in the chat, she breaks down and she does give him her address.
Oh, sweet angel.
Yeah. Finally, officers reach a point in the chat where he gives his name as being Chris. In one of the chats, he said that he revealed that he was from California, and during the neighborhood canvas, one of the neighbors in the neighborhood was Mr. Nosy Pants, because he has pads and pads of paper with vehicles. Who's been in the neighborhood? Who's been driving through? How long they were in the neighborhood?
Do you have a job?
Apparently not.
Just sitting and looking out.
Like 80.
That's your retirement plan. That's
just
your
writing
hobby.
down people's cars.
License plates.
This person drove on my road at 10:04.
That is this guy, 100%. So on the record, he has around the date on the, I think it was the 1st, January 1st, a Mercedes with California plates that belonged to a 22-year-old Christian Porter. They changed that name in something else, right? Christian Porter, and he was there on the 1st. He's an Air Force lieutenant. He's in the military. So immediately they're like, military, ringing bells, square knots.
Yeah.
All these things. Also, too, the messages, right? They were leading to kink zone. They were very BDSM. At one point, she was like asked to call him master. So, she was playing a very submissive role with him.
Yeah.
And listen, we've all been there.
We've talked about it. Yeah, it's like there's a safe way to do BDSM. There's nothing wrong with that if it's two consenting people who have set rules up beforehand.
That's right.
That's fine.
Well,
it's not saying that there's something wrong with that kink or that community as a whole.
But I think also like a lot of people that like will practice that, like typing it and stuff like that don't actually like
do it in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think that too, she's just freshly out of a relationship.
Yeah.
And not a relationship that involved maybe the most, fun sex. Who knows what her sex life was before, but she's also dated this guy since high school. So I'm not assuming that it involved any kind of fun play thing.
She's figuring out what she's into. Exploring. And also, again, early online, before we understood the dangers, it felt like a safe place to do that, where you could just kind of be like, well, it's harmless. Like at this point,
I did give you my address.
I did give you my address, which is where that bit gets a bit scary.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I think you do kind of just feel like, well, we're just talking. It's just talking.
Yeah,
it's just talking.
But again, his car was seen there on the 1st, thanks to Mr. Nosy Neighbor. They find him very quickly. They bring him in, and he admits that he had met her through the chat and that he had gone over. He said that he called her on his way and had told her to answer the door in just a blindfold and shorts. He said that it was part of a submissive role play that they were doing. He said that they did their thing and he left right after. He says that he has an alibi for the time in which they think the murders happened. He was actually at batting cages with friends. And so police are like, yeah, he legitimately has an alibi and maybe this happened, but it doesn't look yet like maybe
he's involved.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, but they did take his DNA. They took his fingerprints and all of that to check for when all that came through. So they have that. Now they go back to the friends. They're like, anybody else? Is there anybody on your radar that this guy, is anybody that she was nervous about, worried about? And her friend Lisa tells the police that there is a guy. There is another guy that she had been talking to online recently who had scared her, kind of became a bit of a stalker even. She said he became really obsessive with her, that he wouldn't quit calling her. He'd drive by her house. She said one time she looked out her window and he was parked in her driveway, just sitting there.
Oh, Ma'am, God.
Please don't give people
your address.
Your address.
Yeah.
So this guy goes by Death Metal 1969.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is all cool. This is all very tracks. He's an IT worker. They had started seeing each other in around August, September of the year before. He told her that he wasn't into anything committed, but then seemingly when she called everything off in October, he was not ready for her to call it quits. But
we all know that guy. That guy. I don't want anything serious, but also could you just never see anybody else ever and I can do whatever I want, but you can't do anything?
Oh my God, you know him. Again, in October she calls it quits. Samantha keeps telling him no, she's not interested. She tells him finally she's just like, you know what? I've actually met somebody new. So
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mm-hmm. Police find him, confront him, and he's acting weird, and his alibi basically is just being home and alone on his computer that night.
I have to say this.
Not lining up really well for him.
I would be in so much... I spend so much time sitting at home.
I know. Yeah. I kind of like, should I get one of those like in-home camera things?
Right. I'm like, no, there's a timestamp on it. I was on my couch fucking watching Bridgerton. That is what I was doing.
Scrolling TikTok.
Yeah.
You know,
I swear to God.
Playing with my dog. So, yeah.
Ask Rose, I promise.
Yeah, ask Pickles.
They're like, you really don't have an alibi for that entire 2-day period. And I'm like, I sure don't. I was in my house in my pajamas.
Comfies.
Yeah.
In JJ's. That's it. Again, he's acting weird, but you know, he doesn't really have an alibi, but he does allow them to take his DNA and to take his computer and check it out. Another one of the neighbors, though, when they had done their canvas, had seen Samantha that day on the 5th with a guy on a motorcycle. And so they're like, okay. They're like, I guess let's comb through this, all of her chat history.
Oh my Lord.
Her meow mix history and see if we have anybody that comes up with a motorcycle. Because usually somebody who's got a motorcycle is going to talk
They're
about
going to tell you.
They're going to talk
yeah,
about it.
they sure are. Especially in 2003. They're telling you. There's pictures of their motorcycle is probably their profile picture.
Yeah.
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 Since motorcycles have existed, a man who has one is going to talk to you.
You
about
will know about it immediately.
Yes, you're going to know. So they do. They scour through the messages. They find another person who has mentioned a motorcycle, and then another name pops up, and it's I am Elliot. He's described as a widower. She'd been talking to him for quite a while. Their chats show that they had recently met face to face. So just a few weeks earlier. Finally, after digging through some logs, all these logs and logs of chats, they come across a comment about her bringing in her film, like camera film, into Metro. Metro is the name of a camera shop that's local. And so police are like, oh, like he's like telling her, bring it into Metro to have it developed. And they're like, oh, so he must work there. So police are like, okay, let's go check out who I Am Elliot is. So they go to the lot and they see this Harley Davidson motorcycle in the lot. And they're like, this must be the person she's been talking to. They run the plates and it comes back to a Chris Russell. So they're like,
another Chris.
Another Chris.
You see, I've had this argument for a long time. Apologies to your husband. This is why certain names got to be retired. Chris among them. There are too many Chris's. Michaels. There are too many Michaels. Yeah. Like it gets confusing. Okay. Yeah. There's how many Chris's do we need? Sorry.
And she steps back down from the soapbox and Chris Russell, who does spell it with a K, if that makes you feel better.
It doesn't.
No. Okay. Yeah, Christina's like, absolutely not. He's 21-year-old. That was the other thing too that the mom had said. She was like, she knew that it was a guy named Chris, and she also knew that
he was
he was younger than her.
Okay.
Right. And so this all is starting to match up. And so, but so did the other one.
Yeah.
So
it was also a Chris that was younger than her.
I mean, technically a Christian or based on the other show, a Christoph or something, but basically a name that can be shortened to Chris. The 21-year-old Chris, who was at Samantha's that evening in question, when police contact Chris's hometown, so they're doing a little bit of background. They're like, hey, they go in, of course, and talk to him, but they check out, he's not from there. He just moved there recently and he's widowed. So they reach out to the police in his local, where he's from.
They're like, how'd she die?
Yeah.
He's widowed at 21. Yeah.
Police department learned that, his wife did die under suspicious circumstances and that they had actually been looking for Chris to talk to him. And when they had scheduled to go over to Chris's house, he'd up and left.
Yeah. Got on that motorcycle.
Vroom, vroom.
Get on your bikes and ride. Tara Russell, his wife, the autopsy came back and said that she had died of pneumonia. But also in the thing, it said undetermined. So, but all of it was very weird. All of Tara's friends were like, first of all, she's healthy as a fucking horse. There's no reason that she should die at all. So
She's
none
young,
of this makes sense. Certainly young. Well, she was actually, funny enough, 28.
She was older as well.
So she was
older than him, but still young person.
Well, right. But she's almost out of baby having range, right? According to that one family, 28, 29. I mean, my God. Yeah, she better hurry up. No, Tara Russell's autopsy, like I said, came back with that. But again, family and friends were like, absolutely not. There is something fucking fishy going on here. Yeah. And not only that, Tara had recently just told Chris, the day before that she was going to leave him. So
timing wise.
Yeah.
How do you get pneumonia and die in one day?
In a day. None of that makes sense to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't even know how you would fake that kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, how would you kill somebody to make it look like pneumonia?
I don't know.
I mean, who even knows? Anyway, there were a lot of similarities between the two women, between Samantha, who had just passed, and his wife. Both were 28 and 29, respectively. Both had lots of tattoos. They both had met Chris online. Police again take his DNA, and a search warrant reveals that he has in his apartment a book about knots, one of which is the knot that was used in the
Not to give criminals any tips.
Yeah.
But maybe throw that book away.
Yeah. Also, too, his house is filled with like coaxial cables, a lot of the things. Also, there was a laser pointer that he had that was left at the house with blood around it that he had a bunch of. So maybe he had taken that laser pointer over for her to use with the cats or whatever, but it was there. But it was also suspiciously just like all the ones he had in his home. So there's a lot of little circumstantial things in that regard. But but it's the DNA that comes through.
Oh, yeah.
The DNA is the ringer. It took, it basically ties Chris to the entire murder. He did not try very hard to cover up any of his, tracks. I mean, there's blood, fingerprints, everything on like all over the place. They have fingerprints on the cord. There's fingerprints on the
Why did he do it?
There's no one really knows. Nobody really understands why he did it. There's obviously speculation. Some of the police speculate, well, maybe, she was seeing multiple people. One of the things was kind of like, oh, maybe she called him the wrong name or who knows. But this guy doesn't seem like maybe a lot is necessary. And he's already done it possibly before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we might be looking at somebody who was caught being, in the early stages of his serial killer career, for all we know. You know? So it doesn't seem like she may have done anything to provoke it. Well, obviously not, because she's the victim.
But there's no clear motive.
There's no clear motive, whether he was fully jealous or not. And, for her, she's just living her life. She's dating a few people, meeting people online, thinking, having a good time. Finally.
Yeah. And it's not fair. It's not fair that we have to be so hyper vigilant.
I know.
And so careful, because it isn't her fault.
No, of course not.
It isn't, but it is something that it's like, we know now that the internet's not a baby anymore. Like we know
we have so much more internet literacy.
Safe to give your address out to people that you are chatting with online.
Hell, we tell people now not even to don't let your date pick you up.
Right. And people still do that, So it's just changed to this day. And I like to think, and I do believe there is more awareness of that now. People don't meet as often at people's houses to pick them up for dates. Cause that used to be standard.
That was the
your
thing.
date had to pick you up from your home. That was what was considered polite. Like years and years ago. We as a society have adapted because we are learning that this stuff is not safe. You can't just trust anybody online. It's what an awful lesson to learn that way. Or, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's just sad. He was convicted. He ended up, of course he pleads not guilty, but he was found guilty and sentenced to 99 years to life. So
that is really scary, especially him being as young as he is, 21.
Yeah.
For that level of violence, seemingly out of nowhere. Like, I agree. I think that he would have continued to do violence against women if he wasn't caught, because like, what if he hadn't been caught? Yeah.
That's very likely 2 women that he murdered.
Yeah.
I mean, and like you said, 21 years old.
It's very young
next.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it just, like you said, it's just a shame that, she couldn't just live that portion of her life.
And
she wasn't able to like explore that and have that fun and enjoy some of the freedom of being single.
Yeah, after coming out of like a relationship that ended really badly. Yeah. And one that, spanned.
She'd been in for a long
since high school. Right.
Yeah, this was a real opportunity for her to kind of learn about herself and grow. Yeah. And, she didn't get the chance to do that. And that's so fucked up that somebody could just take that away.
Yeah. But I never heard anything about this story.
Me neither.
And I'm like, the fact that too, like I said, she'd been talking to so many people. That was the thing. There was like hundreds of suspects, if you really think about it.
But I mean, that makes sense. She was in her like post-divorce rebound phase, just trying to figure out like, who's your cup of tea? You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe your cup of tea is telling you to put the blindfold on,
and shorts and a blindfold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it turns out that guy
wasn't even
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so.
Well, good one. Well, what are you guys watching this week?
I think there's 3 episodes. I've watched the first 2. Well, regardless, I have 1 episode left of Who Killed Jill Dando. On Netflix. Yeah. Really good, really frustrating just to know that like they still don't know, which is absolutely
bonkers.
Crazy because it was such a high profile case. And it also really does go to show you that I feel like America and the UK, especially in the 90s, kind of all felt like we were kind of like not one group, but like I feel like there was a real camaraderie, kindred thing with the United States and the UK, and that's a good reminder watching this show that like, oh, they do have a completely different kind of culture over there. Yeah, because Jill Dando was apparently in like huge, like they talk about her like she was like her death was second only to like Princess Di's death, like at the time that she was killed.
She was shot in front of her home, right?
In front of her home. Yeah. And this was not, I mean, I'd heard about this story before, but it definitely didn't hit the US in the same way that it hit the UK.
Right.
Yeah. And it's just a sad story. It's just.
It'd be like Diane Sawyer here.
Yeah. Or even, kind of like Diane Sawyer, but even more, because she was like younger and kind of like trendier,
right? Than I mean, like at that time.
But yes, like a personality that everyone knew, that everybody felt like it would have been, Couric. Or like young Oprah, maybe.
Sure,
like because it's like everybody could relate to her. Yeah. She had a way of like communicating with people that was really warm, and like young Oprah had a way of like making people open up to her and stuff like that. Maybe like that, but I have 1 episode left to go on that. But it is always just sad to know that it's not resolved.
Yeah. Michelle Williams.
Oh, girl.
Audiobook.
Oh, man.
The Woman. Emmy.
Britney Spears.
Woo wee.
Did you finish it?
No.
Golly.
I haven't even started it yet. Another book I gotta finish.
I've heard that clip. I've heard that clip of her, the faux-shiz. Yes. Oh my God. I love that this Academy Award winning actress is doing this. That's amazing.
It's really dark. It's sad so far, and it's just, there's so much that I actually have learned about her father's upbringing that makes a lot of sense, that made him
who he was,
the way that he is. And it's just sad. It's sad, and I hope that things start to get better. But it's nice that she's at least able to put out her story in her own words.
Yeah, I agree.
The way that she wanted to.
Yeah,
and I support that 1,000%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I am so fucking busy, dude. I have in the weeds, man, up to my eyeballs. And so basically the only thing that I'm doing is at night when I'm done with my homework, I turn on one episode of Magnum PI, the new series.
Good for you.
And yeah, that's where my head's at right now.
Yeah, I love that. That's great.
Well, hey, if you guys have stories of terrible dates, terrible holiday parties, terrible meet the parents stories,
yes,
'tis the season. Please go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. And we love you so much.
Cheers.